Right. Good night, each and every one of you. Thank you for joining Module 3 of Cycle 2. So this is the second year we are doing the leadership training. Tonight's session is facilitating the development of group, vision, mission, and goals. And we have our facilitator, Miss Susan Hodge. She's from Cycle 1 last year, and she has volunteered to facilitate tonight's session. I will go straight over to you, Miss Sue. The presentation I will be sharing for you, and it's on the screen. So good night.
Okay, good night, everyone. I'm glad everybody was able to make it. Can you hear me? Yes?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Yes, I'm hearing you loud and
clear.
clear.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes.
I can't remember. Nadine, did you say that where I was from? I'm from Anguilla, a little island, the most northerly of the Leeward Islands, 35 square miles, 15,000 people. And fishing has been part of our history, as in most Caribbean islands. My dad was a fisherman. My grandfathers were fishermen. So fishing is in my blood, although I can just about swim. So tonight we're going to be talking about how we're going to get our fisher folk groups together and give them a vision, mission, and goals so that we can actually lead them forward. So during the last session, you would have spoken about group dynamics and the process that groups go through, like the forming, storming, norming, and performing. But when you're in the performing stage is when you start to look at your vision and the missions of your group. So as we look at that, what is a vision? What is a mission? What are your goals and objectives? Why should fisher folk groups develop group vision or missions or goals and objectives? How can fisher folk groups promote the development of vision and mission statements, goals and objectives? That's what we're going to look at this evening. And I'm going to do my presentation, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to talk all the time. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions as we go through. So please be prepared to answer. Don't leave me hanging. Okay? We're all friends here. So next slide, please, Nadine. What is a vision statement? Can somebody answer that for me? You really gonna leave me hanging?
I think a vision is a plan that you have for the organization or for the envisioning for that particular thing that you are setting up, what you want to achieve from it.
That's it in a nutshell. And as we talk about visions, you know, we can have a charismatic leader that may be able to help to get persons to join the group. But what happens after the group, they leave the group or they move on? Does the group die with them? If you craft a vision, it can help keep a group alive for years and years. Visions change, but the core values remain the same. And the vision is the ability to perceive the many possibilities that are available to your group and create a picture of where that group will be in the future. It sets a clear, focused, desirable direction that will make your group, that will take your group to a specific destination. And people are motivated to perform when they have a clear understanding of the purpose and meaning of a task or activity. So as a leader, all of us are leaders here. When we're crafting our vision, we have to provide this purpose and meaning by developing your vision and then communicating it to the rest of your group. Next slide, please. This is a Cnfo vision statement. A primary, national, and regional fisherfolk organizations with knowledgeable members collaborating to sustain fishing industries that are mainly owned and governed by fisherfolk who enjoy a good quality of life achieved through the ecosystem-based management of fisheries resources. Now, the characteristics of a vision statement are that it should be clear, that it's easily understandable, that it's challenging, that it may impart a lofty but an achievable goal to be the best, to do more, to help someone or something. It should be general. It shouldn't address specifics such as increasing revenue or market share. And it should be people-oriented. It shouldn't be based on self-interest. A vision statement should focus on how people will interact with one another and better serve them, their clients or their customers. And it should be inspiring. The members should find the vision exciting and noble, and they want to help to achieve it. And it should be something that is easily communicated, that is simple to explain. So tell me, what do you think of the Cnfo vision statement? Does it fulfill those characteristics? Nobody's answering me? What do you think? Okay, I'm gonna go
yes,
on.
you have. Yes.
Thank you, Paulette. You're saving me all night. Thank you.
Oh my God.
The next slide, please. After you've crafted your vision, which is that far-reaching goal that you have, then you start to look at your mission. Your mission is a statement of why your group exists. It identifies the goals and its operations. The mission of an organization plays a major role in directing the organization to achieve its goals. The majority of people today, they don't create mission statements, but developing a mission, even a personal mission for yourself. Where do you want to be? What is your purpose? Why are you here? And that's what you need to do for your organization. What is your fisherfolk organization there for? What is it to do? Is it to help the fisherfolk in your country? Is it to create avenues for them? You have to decide what your mission is. And just like in the vision, can you show the next slide? This is Cnfo's mission statement. To improve the quality of life for fisherfolk and develop a sustainable and profitable fishing industry through network representation and capacity building. So the characteristics of a mission statement are that it serves as a foundation upon which your organization can operate. It explains the following: the purpose of your organization, what your organization does every day to serve its clients, and it should have three primary aspects: your products and services, your distinctive competitive advantage, and your overall strategy for determining long-term success. So tell me, do you think that the Cnfo mission statement fulfills all of those characteristics?
Yes. Good night, everyone. Winsbot here from St. Vincent.
Good night.
Yes, I think the Cnfo mission and vision statement is working. But one of the things I would like to say that when organization developing their mission and a vision statement, and it helped build the organization. But what I noticed is that some organizations do follow through on the vision and the mission statement. And I think it just have a fallout in terms of the membership, in terms of highlighting your vision and your mission statement in case you have an office. I notice a lot of institutions are doing it now. They are putting up their vision and the mission statement so everybody who entered that office could see it. And the other thing why this mission and the vision is so important is that if Fisher Folks organization is looking to access grants or anything they like to ask for your mission and your vision, and it's even something that's go into your bylaw. But I will hand back to you, my friend, as you go on with your presentation.
Thank you very much for that interjection. And you're perfectly right. When we recruit new members into our organizations, we have to do that by showing them what our vision is and what our mission is. And that should be exactly what we want to achieve. It doesn't make sense for us to say, oh, this is our vision and this is our mission, and then put it away in a drawer and never look at it again. Because, and when you're developing it, but we're going to go into that a little bit later. So let me not get off track. So can you show me the next slide, please, Nadine? After you've achieved your vision and your mission, of course, you're going to have to go into your goals and objectives. Because in order to achieve your mission and in order to achieve your vision, you have to it has to be step by step. So what are your goals and objectives? Successful leaders focus on what they want to achieve. They know what they want and they devise ways to get it. The secret of their success is their ability to set and achieve specific goals. The abilities to set clear goals and plan how to achieve them are important leadership skills. If you can't identify and communicate your goals and plan how you're going to achieve them, you'll have difficulty fulfilling everything else. A goal is a specific objective that you and your team must achieve. The goal is an end result. A goal is usually long-term and measurable. An objective is a specific action taken towards achieving a goal, and objectives are immediate, specific, and time-bound. So as we go on, I think I said that. They're specific, they're measurable. It's specific, it clearly states what must happen. Measurable, results can be easily validated. Action-oriented, it begins with the word to. Be realistic. It is challenging yet practical and achievable. Not too high or not too low. And time-bound. It needs a timetable for achievement. So the acronym for that is SMART. All your goals and objectives should be SMART. And when you're setting your goals and objectives, you have to involve all your team members. Just like when you are doing your vision and mission. I can't create a vision for the Anguilla Fisher folk because I'm not actually a Fisher person. It will have to be the Fisher folk that decide what they want to, where they want to see their organization in the next 5, 10, 15, or 20 years. Okay, so the next slide. So why should Fisher folk groups develop group vision, group mission, and goals and objectives? It's actually a promotional tool to help communicate the purpose of the group to the stakeholders and partners. When you go to talk to your governments, when you go to talk to any funding agencies, you can say that this is our vision. This is where we want our Fisher folk organization to be in the next couple of years, however many years it is you decide to plan for. And it helps you communicate your purpose. It's also a help to your strategic planning, because in order to achieve anything, you have to plan and you have to do it strategically. I don't think that any person, any fisherfolk organization that started a plan in 2010 would have ever thought that there was going to be a pandemic in 2020. But they had to have contingency plans somewhere along the lines. And I mean, I think that now any organization that is planning will definitely have to plan for some kind of unforeseen circumstance that might impact their vision or mission. So you develop measurable goals and objectives, and you do this together. It can't be done by one person. It has to be a group of people and the majority of your people. And those persons who may not attend those meetings, they still need to be communicated with. They still need to know where it is that you want to go. It also provides the basis for monitoring, evaluation, and adaptation. Sorry, as I said, nobody would have foresawn anything that was going to go on. The whole thing with the, oh gosh, what is it? Oh, that seaweed stuff. I can't remember. So sargassum. Nobody could have ever thought about that happening either. I mean, it's happened in the past, but the way that it's been happening more recently, I don't think anybody would have thought about that. And your vision and your mission, it provides a clear, collective, and central focus to the group. Sorry, next slide. The goals and objectives, they create a roadmap for your success. So you start with the small things, the things that are easily achievable within the next couple of months. Then you keep on building on those, because it should be like a stepping stone. The goals give you a starting point and a destination to reach. Your goals and objectives help you to see where you're going, what changes you may need to make. Those are your contingency plans. And it helps you monitor, because sometimes when we're going along, we don't realize how far we've come until we go back and look at what we've achieved. So it's always good to be able to measure your success. It helps you to set actionable goals to make sure that you're in agreement with the overall vision. So you always, whenever you're setting a goal or objective, you always have your vision and mission ahead of you. So you're thinking that, how is this going to help me achieve my mission and then achieve my vision? When you commit yourself to your vision and express it in achievable goals, you provide yourself with the motivation that you're going to actually be able to get there. And goals help you to determine the priorities and direct you to focus on what is important. Because sometimes things turn up and we put all our focus in that area, forgetting that this is our vision and this is the way that we should be going. And the goals and objectives make use of your current realities to promote actions that are consistent with your mission and promote your vision. So the next slide there for me, please. Leadership should facilitate the collective development of a group vision and mission. Now, everybody's different, but as Fisher folk, you have a goal. You know where you want your organization to be. You know what you want from your government. You know what you want from the funding agencies. You know what you want from your members and how you're going to achieve it. So when you're doing your vision and mission, you need to learn how to group that so that you're always going to have stragglers who believe something different, but if the majority all have shared the same vision and mission, you're going to be able to move forward. Now, how are you going to get to meet with them and develop your group vision and mission? And you can't do it by saying, okay, we're going to have a meeting on Wednesday, and who doesn't show up, well, that's their hard knocks. No, it has to be done a series of ways. You have your face-to-face meetings, although that will be difficult in the COVID times we have. But right now, if it hadn't been for COVID, I don't think that I would have ever been here presenting to you at the Cnfo Leadership Institute either. So we have to take the good things out of what is a crisis. But you can do it via Zoom. You can have focus groups, because I'm sure that in most of your countries, there is a minimum number of persons who can meet. So you can all meet together and come up with the things that you want to be in your vision and your mission statements, as well as some goals and objectives. You can get surveys, you can, informal submissions, electronic media. I'm sure most of your organizations have Facebooks and Facebook pages, and if you put something out there, your members are gonna say something, they're gonna write a comment, and even the general public will do that as well. So, because you're not just doing it for your fishing organizations, you're also doing it for the public that you serve. And all group members should have an opportunity to have their say. It's not just about the executive leading everything. There's no stupid question. There's no silly comment. Everybody should have an equal opportunity to contribute to their view, the view of the organization. So we can go to the next one. Next slide. So you identify your audience, the level of the members within your group. How are you going to talk to them? Is it easier to talk face to face? Are they going to be tech savvy that they can get on Zoom? That's how you deal with it. How do they want to be? Do they want to be really involved, or do they just want to say, like, okay, I have this view and this is all I have to say about it? You have to understand that as well. So if that's all they want to contribute, that's what they want to contribute. But normally, if you get people together and you start from a general standpoint of talking, everything is going to come out, and you're going to get a really good vision, mission, and your goals and objectives are going to be achievable. Why is a mission statement necessary? You have to let them know why the mission statement is necessary. We spoke about that at the beginning of the presentation, the need for a mission statement, because it tells you exactly where your organization is going. It tells you the purpose of your organization and how it's going to serve its members. And you need a clear understanding of the mission statement. It doesn't make sense that the persons who are going to go out there and talk about developing a mission statement don't understand what a mission statement is. It's important that you keep to track. I know that as Caribbean people, we love to go off track, but you need to, if it's a focus group, if it's a focus meeting, you need to keep to that track. And what the value of a mission statement is. That mission statement should be given to that vision, mission statement, and even some of the goals and objectives should be given to all of your members so that they can hold everybody accountable, because there's no one more accountable than anybody else. Everybody in a group is as accountable as the other person. And aim that you can guide the group going forward. We have to look at how we are focused, where we're going, and who can help to take us there. Next slide. So steps in creating your vision statement. You're projecting to the long-term future. What does the future of fishing in your country look like for you? So you have brainstorming sessions. You just put down all of the ideas that everybody has, and something will end up coming up, rising to the surface. You determine your purpose and position as an organization. Where do you want your Fisher Folk organization to be? If fishing is a major industry, it should be to the top. Somewhere in your country, there should be a minister of government or a politician or the head of an organization that is looking out for the Fisher Folk in your country. Describe what success looks like in your operations. How do you envisage when everything is said and done? Where do you see your Fisher Folk? organization? How do you see it with a huge building set over the sea with boats that can come up underneath, with everything, you know, factories that can produce everything that you need? Or do you see it as a little group of people sitting around in a small area? Describe what it looks like. Consider your type and your structure. How many members do you have? It doesn't make sense to have an executive or a leading part of your organization that has 10 people if you only have 20 members. That doesn't make sense. So you have to think about it from that point of view. Reference your competitors. Who are your competitors? Is it other countries? Is it the bigger organizations in the so-called developed world? Are those your competitors? Who are your competitors? You need to think about them and where you want to be. And you need to describe a measurable goal. Your vision needs to do that. And when we looked at the Cnfo vision at the beginning, I think it encapsulated everything that the Cnfo is trying to achieve. Can we go to the next slide, please? Your mission. The steps in creating a mission statement. It should be original to your business, to your Fisher Folk organization. You can't just take one from Barbados and put it in Belize, or one from Belize and put it in Anguilla, for instance, because how Belizeans fish and Anguillians fish will be different. The areas that we have, there's so many differences. That doesn't mean that you can't look and compare what they have and use some of the words, but it has to be your mission. It must be foundational. You want a mission statement that you don't really have to change. I mean, mission statements do change, but that's over time. It can be changed every year. It shouldn't be something that you change every year. And it must be able to connect with your members. It says personnel, but with your members. Your members should know your mission statement. When they go out and they talk about it, or if they're talking about anything with your organization, they should know what your vision and mission statement are. And that's the next point. It must be short, concise, memorable. So it's easy to remember. And it should be able to fit on a shirt or a blouse. And I think that would be more of a tagline than a mission statement, or it could go on the back of a shirt, that's true. So it should be short and memorable. Next slide, please. This is just a graphic. Your vision and your mission are part of the puzzle pieces that will help to move your organization forward. They fit together, but they're still separate. Next slide, please. Goals and objectives. Created by the group executive. I mean, yes, they are, because they're based on the information that you would have received from your members and based on your vision and mission. They're usually expressed in a strategic work plan. So again, they should be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based or time-bound. And my final slide shows you how everything fits together. Your vision goes into your mission goes into your goals goes into your strategy and your action plans. And then you have a functioning Fisher Folk organization that will help Cnfo achieve all of its vision and missions as well. Thank you for listening to me. And I hope that you have questions. Thanks. No questions? Nadine, you want to start them?
Well, good night again. First, let me say, very good presentation. Nice to hear your voice, as you mentioned earlier in your presentation. Thanks to this new platform that we are using here, which is the Zoom platform, where we know with COVID and a lot of things are happening that no one was prepared for. Not even some of the government around the region and around the world. And it bias down to the fisher folks, and you could see how before I ask the question, you could see how fisher folks had been left out of everything that is happening now. Everybody is getting stuff, but the fisher seems to be thrown in a corner right around the region. There's no really assistance had been putting out to assist fisher folks into the Caribbean, and that's a very serious challenge that fisher folks are facing now. But come back to the vision and the mission. One of the things I find is that what we don't have is participation of people getting involved in to help to put the mission and the vision statement together. And it all time lead down to certain people. And some of the organization have some long some long thing for vision and mission statement. And I think your vision and the mission statement is just supposed to be short and clear and right to the point. I know some institution you can't have done read some of the vision and the mission statement, and is that something that we would like to encourage members to remember is the vision and the mission statement, and that it could conduct the role of the Fisher Folks organization, because I could say is that our Fisher Folks organization is being strayed away these days because of there's not much that the Fisher Folks organization could assist in the situation that Fisher Folks are facing right now, because there's not much assistance given from the top that could assist Fisher Folks organization regionally that could reach out to their membership. So and it's something now that I will like to say is that we need to pay very close attention to our bylaws, because I think for you as a new member that coming into a Fisher Folks organization, you might meet a bylaw they too much donkey years now. And even for me as well too, we need to really look at the bylaws and see how the bylaws could intercede with the vision and the mission statement. But I could just leave it there again to give other persons to talk. But I think a vision and a mission statement supposed to be clear and short, and a whole book, two book leaf. Back to you, Chair.
Good evening.
Thank you. Yes, Adriana.
Good evening. My name is Adriana. I'm the manager of a Pastries Fishers Cooperative in St. Lucia. I must say the meeting is very nice. I've taken down my notes. I love taking down my notes. What I'm seeing that is lacking for, I don't know for the other countries, but in St. Lucia, well, for our fishers, they need to have, our fishers need to be educated. I was very elated to hear the gentleman mention the bylaws. There are lots of members that have been members for many years, but some of them do not know their rights. They don't know their rights, they don't know their wrongs, they do not know the bylaws. So I believe it is imperative that the fishers have some more training workshops, because many of them, they don't know their rights. They don't know what is stipulated in the bylaws. They do not know what to do. So, and then also earlier on in the meeting, the host mentioned about every fisher must have their say. I have been to meetings where they have, what about fishers that are just cantankerous? The aim is just to destroy or to spoil person's name or just to disturb their meeting. Do we allow these persons to continue with what they have to say when we know their aim, because that's a habit that they have of coming to meetings and just disturb their meeting? Do we allow these persons to have their say?
You said a mouthful there, Adriana. And no matter what organization you're in, you're always going to have those people who want to come in and take over because they've come with a separate agenda. But I think that if we can keep control of the meeting, keep on telling them this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to make things better. We're trying to make things, you're saying that things are hard for you right now. We're trying to make things a little bit better. Let's see what we can do. We're going to listen. We're going to take note of what it is that you're saying, but we still have to move on. And I know it's hard because I have dealt with our Fisher folk here, and they have their own ideas about what's going on. But if you hear them out, at least hear them out and tell them that, you still you're willing to listen, but they can't monopolize any kind of meeting. Yes, Paulette.
Yes, I like the fact that the smart goals that we set, that they are specific, measurable, achievable, and realistic. Because sometimes people and time specific as well, because there are times when organizations just jump. People just set up organizations, but they do not have realistic goals. And so I'm happy that we are able to learn that we can set smart goals that are achievable. There are times when persons will set goals that are out of reach. But if you set the goals smart, realistic and measurable, at each step of the way, you are able to review the plans that you have, the plan of action regularly, and to see what you have achieved, and what needs to pay more attention to. So it gives you enough time so that you are able to review your progress and see where you are at, from where you have started and what achievements you have gained, and where do you go on from here. So setting smart goals is a way to go in any organization for it to be successful.
Yeah, thank you, Paulette. Mitch, I saw you taking off your mic. Do you want to say something? No? Okay. But yeah, Paulette, you did say something about the goals and objectives being smart, and it's true. It doesn't make sense for us to set something that is totally unachievable. And even if it does seem to be a lofty goal, there are always steps to get to the place. Because even, what's the saying? A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step.
Starts with a single step, yes.
Yeah, so I agree.
Yes, so when we are able to set them smart, you are able to achieve them better. But sometimes we set the goals way out of reach, and then it is so challenging to achieve them because the leader might not be a self-motivated person who can assure his or her team members, say, listen, we can achieve this, and motivate them every step of the way to let them know, well, we can do this together. Lead from front to get the job done, and let the followers see that they are on it, and get the followers to come along with them to achieve these goals. So the leader, him or herself, have to be self-motivated first before they can go think about motivating others to achieve the goals that are set.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that the more people who are part of developing that vision and developing that mission are going to help that leader keep the focus. Even if they lose any motivation, there's bound to be at least one or two people in that group who are going to remind them of the vision and the mission, and move them forward. Definitely.
Exactly.
But if they don't know what the vision and mission is, they wouldn't be able to encourage the person. So
okay, then if I could come back in here, Che, could I come back in? Sorry. Che?
sure, nobody else is saying anything, so sure you can come back in.
And one of the things I noticed in Fisher Folks organization, it goes back to my friend from St. Lucia, which he said that persons who come with their own agenda, and their own agenda is to see how best they could destroy the meeting. And one of the things I like to encourage, like Fisher Folks Cooperative, is that what I find is that they don't have regular membership meeting. They do have regular board meeting, right? But they don't have regular membership meeting more than when it lead up to an AGM. And this is when it lead up to an AGM now. You have those persons coming in with these kind of their own agenda, where they can share their grievances and the misunderstanding with the board. And they use that opportunity for to shell out. And then they come with a with majority some little alcas in the head. But I think as we look forward in terms of strengthening Fisher Folks Cooperative, is to see how best now we could have these mission and the vision statement given out as leaflet to the membership. And sometimes instead of have them now just on the wall, to see how you could get that out to the membership, then to say this is the mission and this is the vision, and we are trying to achieve this goal by a time period. But some widow, as the lady said early on, is that we have a long term goal, but I think we should have them in some category. What is a weakness in I could say in fishing cooperative is that we really need to educate our membership, because when you look even at the AGMs, the persons who have the loud voice, they decline from sitting on the board of the administration of running the cooperative, and then you have somebody who don't really have the basic understanding and how cooperatives should function. Then you have to go all over again. But it's something, it's work in progress as the Cnfo Leadership Institute continue to have these online Zoom program here. I think I will have to recognize to the Cnfo is that how do we educate our Fisher folks about our bylaws and our vision and our mission statement of our cooperative. Back to you, Chair.
I agree with everything that you said there. I think that education is needed. We need to know, everybody has a reason for joining an organization. I know that when I joined the Anguilla Fisher Folk Association, it was basically because I'm a disaster manager by profession. And we talked about safety at sea. And when we were doing a project, and part of that project was for me to have to go through all of the incidences that we've had in Anguilla waters, whether it was St. Martin or BVI or St. Thomas that had been in our waters. And in about, I think I did it for 5 years, and we had, remember how small Anguilla is, 35 square miles. We had over 100 incidents, which I think was, some of them were reported, not all of them were reported, but I still think that there were some that would have been very easy. And we need, and you're right, we do need to educate our fisher folk. We need to let them know that when they're going fishing, they need to tell somebody that they're going fishing and when they expect to come back. Those are just the basics. But our fisher folk organizations need to help that along. And I think that what the Cnfo is doing here, I had no idea until I joined our local association that all of this existed. And I think it's a great way for us to see that fisher folk organizations need to take their rightful place in the hierarchy of every country. But we can only do that if we are organized. And I'm also a trade unionist. So when I joined, again, not just because of being a disaster manager, but realizing how disorganized our local fishermen were and trying to get them into an association and to put their case forward in a way that the ministers and the organizations, the funding agencies would actually understand and help them along with too. And that all helps with the vision and mission as well.
May I say something?
Go right ahead.
Okay, what I have seen, because I have been working in the cooperative movement for over 26 years. And what I know, what I've seen lacking in the fishers, they don't have confidence in themselves. The fishers, they are not self-motivated. We cannot motivate anyone. We can only influence people. Motivation is something that begins from within. So what we have to do as leaders is, try to influence them. If we have a mission and a vision, what we have to do as leaders is to have that strong tendency to emphasize our mission and our vision. Because like we said earlier in the meeting, we have to be able to explicate what it is that we want to do. Because people do not like change. In life, people don't like change. They want to ride, they can only ride that, only drive that way, so they want to remain that way. So for us, for that mission and that vision to work, we have to really let people and explicate to them, explain to them exactly what it is that we want to do and what we'll receive, what we will achieve as a result of what the changes that we would like to, because people don't like change. So for example, you find our fishers, they are acquainted with a certain type of bait. So you find year after year after year, they'll be buying that bait. So we introduce them to a new bait. They will not even bother to try the new bait. They are accustomed to the old set of bait. They won't even bother to try the new set of bait that we have purchased. So you find change, it's a bit difficult for some persons. Although in life, every day things change. We are moving in a fast-paced world. Things change and we have to move along with time. But it is very difficult, honestly, to have even a certain hook. They'll say, but I do not know that hook. I will not try. They won't bother to try that hook, because they are not acquainted to that type of hook or to that brand of hook or bait. So as a result, they will not even bother. We'll try and get new things for them to upgrade the space, to upgrade the fishing supplies, but they will not do it because what can we do? We cannot motivate. People have to motivate begins from within. All we can do is influence them and try and guide them and try and tell them what it is that we want to do, our mission, our goal, what it is that we can achieve. And it is just something that we have to really drill in the head of some members sometimes.
Good night, Peter Regis here. Hello?
Good night.
Night. I was a bit late in the whole proceeding because I was otherwise committed with other business and things, so I were in late. But from what I gather, it was the last 5 minutes of the presentation, I think I heard that like Winsbert and the lady from St. Lucia, the lady from Anguilla, and everybody, it is a problem that we as fishermen faces throughout the Caribbean. We are not subjected to change. We in this traditional thing all the time. And secondly, most fishermen do not, I stress, do not see fishing as a business, and they do not, because they don't see fishing as a business, they just like on a recreational activity where you go out, you fish for a day, you come back, you have it's free, you spend, you drink, and you have a nice time. And most of our fishermen operate boats that are not owned by them. And they don't care about the expense that individual went through to get their property and to put it in their hands to work. They go out there, some of them go out and they fish, and if possible, they stop in a short port and sell product. And when they reach home, they want the owner to supply that boat with equipment and gears to go back out the next day, although they come back with a short catch. They don't see the long end of it, where we are working together, we are working for each other, and if we don't work, we cannot earn. And we are so selfish in our approach to things that we are like copycats. We want to do what the other man is doing. We want to reach out and grab everything for our personal self. Everything must go into all are concerned about what goes into their pocket. We go out and we fish, and if we have a breakdown, they just bring the boat, pack it up, and expect the owner of the boat to do all the work to make sure that it is ready to go again, where they could just jump into another boat and gone, or get somebody else's boat and go. And at the end of the day, something goes wrong with that next boat, they want to come back to the boat that they just leave, mash up, and put a show. And so until we get these kind of people who are together oriented, who are business people, who invest in the industry meaningfully, the money from their pocket, what they own must go back into the business. And at the end of the day, they must feel the pressure that the owners of the business is feeling on a daily basis. So it is very difficult to educate our people along that line. I think it goes all the way back to the slavish mentality. I don't like to talk about slavery. I want to blame our education system, that it is so geared towards just people, it's not entrepreneur oriented. It's like that dependency where everybody come out of school and they're going to look for a job. It's not that we want to go out there and create jobs so that others can obtain a living and obtain development of your community and development of the wider spectrum. Secondly, fishermen don't even want to pay the basic national insurance. It's going to bring benefit to them in the long run, where they can own a pension. Like, for example, now that COVID is rampant, if they were paying or registered and paying insurance, they would get some benefit from the national insurance schemes throughout the Caribbean, whoever it is. But because of our attitude, our mentality, our mindset, we are so dependent. It's like, gimme, 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 gimme. The aspect of teach a man to fish so that he can fish and feed his family, as opposed to give a man a fish every day. That mentality where give me, where you get a fish every day and leave you in that state. It's such a difficult fight for us to get our fishers to understand the importance of working together. Unity is force, is strength. And when we see all the policy makers are combining, all the conglomerate organizations are combining, but we as fishers, who are the driving force behind all these multi-million-dollar people who are spending the money to own something, we are the driving force who is propelling those industries. But what are we getting out of it? What is our benefit in the long run? If our If we fall down dead, our parents, our family, our children get nothing because we are not putting the mechanism in place to create that structure so that we can go forward. Thank you. I feel so much. I get so passionate when I ready to speak about fishing and the problem that we face. Thank you.
Peter, you said a lot there, and all of it very true in my estimation. But as I said, I'm not a Fischer person. But the thing is that, and I'm seeing in the chat about education, why do our Fisher folk not see fishing as a business? Is it because it's not rated as a business in our countries? Is it that, you know, oh, somebody's just taking up themselves and they're gone fishing for the weekend? There are people who actually have trawlers and go out and do the fishing, but do they take into consideration how much it costs them every time they go to fish? What do they need before they can even get into the boat to go to fish? And then when they go to fish and they come back, what are they actually making? I mean, that's how a business works. You have to look at what it is that you're putting in, what you're getting back. And I think that from my view, that everybody wants fish, everybody wants fresh fish, but nobody really wants to give the fisher folk the status that they should have. And that's including the fisher folk themselves.
That is so true. If I could say again, from my experience, I had a long line. And when these guys go out on the fish, we used to share our net earnings 45, 55%. So 45% goes to the crew, 55% goes to the boat and equipment. And whenever we do something, a great catch, these fishermen, when they stay ashore, they don't want to go back out. Fish is out there waiting to be caught, but they don't want to go back out. They want to, because they get a good earning, they want to make sure that they spend, drink, fet until that's done. And when they get out there, they don't want to stay. You're going on a trip for let me say a week or two. And after 5 days, they're ready to come back. So after 4 days, they're ready to come back. So, and some of them are so into this nasty habit that most of them are so addicted to alcohol and cigarettes that some of them are chain smokers and drinkers. And the moment that cigarettes finish or the alcohol wore out of the system, they became very, very aggressive and agreeable, and they don't want to work anymore, and they just want to, you know, and it is so unfair for all business people who own and invest into this business to help the fishermen them develop, but they don't want to help themselves, and it's sad. So how are we going to even from the cooperative level, they don't even want to take responsibility in the corporate. When you have board meetings or you have general meetings, they don't want to show up. They want to sit in the ram shops and on the wayside and idle and bramble. But the moment the board make decisions and that is going to benefit them, they are the ones who are going to come on in the drones and criticize and pull down the board for doing good things to help develop them and create problems. And when you try to create transparency, because of some of these troublesome people who just don't want progressive development, and it's all because of their mental habits and things. They are so corrupt that they want to dip their hands in everything that they have and pocket it. And when you try to stand up for righteousness, for justice, for equality, for transparency, accountability, and everything, they find all means and ways of gathering the crowd, because you could give a Fischer a drink, buy a drink for him, drunk him, and influence them so that they can be troublemakers and to mash up whatever organization that we trying our best to propel forward. I don't know if that put some light on this.
Before you go, one thing I like to add here to sister in from your name again, okay, is that recently for the last 2 months, as we look at the vision and the mission and the goals, I think a lot of us was involved in the regional code of conduct that we spend so much nights online getting this code of conduct, and this code was made up of a lot of the Fisher folk leaders around the Caribbean, and I think it was now passed it to CRFM. It was adapted, and one of the things we have to find out with this code is it we leaving it there? Are we as individual? Are we push it towards our fisheries officers, to our ministers, to address some of the issues that fisher folks organization are facing and fishers? So I think to me, it is a code, but as we look at vision, mission, and the goals, I could say it's time that we encourage our fisher folks organization as well too, because from a Cnfo standpoint, is something Cnfo is pushing, is to see how best we could have more people and more fisher folks in country know about this regional code of conduct. I think we need to have it and have it out there.
Education program.
It could go a long way. I think it's something that was put together by fisher folks, and we need to promote it more as we look at the vision and the mission going forward. And I would like to say to each member who are here on this call tonight, please try to get a copy. Please go through it, see how it could assist your organization and even fisher folks in your country. Good night.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it's your show, but I see the time and I just wanted to chime in regarding the poll. We have 4 questions, not necessarily in good order, but we have 4 questions. 5 persons responded. If we can get at least one more, 50% of the participants, and then we can close it. But let's see if we can get a few more people so we can end tonight's session facilitated by Ms. Sue. Ms. Sue, do you have any parting words? This is your time now as we're out of time. So go ahead, Ms. Sue.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you all very much for listening to me. I hope that I made sense from the comments. It looks like I did in some of the conversation. So I'd just like to say I'm appreciative of your listening ear this evening. And I'm sure that we're all going to end up with good vision, mission statements and goals and objectives that will help lead all of our Fisher organization forward. Thank you.
I see we have 7 persons trying to end the poll now. Let me see if all 7 answered yes. I'm going to end the poll now. And I'm going to share the results with you. Do you know of also number 3 as question number 3 as does your organization has goals and objectives? And 100% said yes. Then the next question, do you know the goals And one person of that 7 mentioned or stated that the goals are there, but that person is not aware of the specific goals. Does your organization has a vision and a mission statement? And then we see the responses there. Vision only, 1 person said so. Both vision and mission, 5 persons, and 1 wasn't certain. And the last question was, does your organization has a strategic work plan? And 3 persons said yes, 2 said no, and 2 persons are not sure. Thank you for participating in that poll. Very much appreciated. And we are at the end of this session. Before I stop recording, if you can turn on your video for a photo up, that would be nice. If not, next time we'll catch your handsome or beautiful face. Thanks, Miss Paulette. Very active tonight, Miss Paulette. Miss Paulette, you're a JP, Justice of the Peace.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Miss Paulette, you are from St. Lucia.
No, I'm from Jamaica.
Jamaica, I always say that. Sorry about that, sorry. Charlene from Jamaica. Adriana is St. Lucia. Sinovia, St. Lucia. Miss Sylvia, Barbados. Peter Regis is from Union Island. Our deputy, put on your video, Mr. Deputy, so they can see you, and I'll give you the last word as I say good night and take the screenshot. Deputy, I'd like you to close us out of this session, a beautiful session by Ms. Sue. Winsberg, you're the deputy of the Cnfo now. Where is our leader, Winsberg? Hurry. All right.
Good night, good night. Yes, I'm here still.
I was just giving you the opportunity to close out, sir. See, Justina just joined. I'm still going to write down her name, even though she's very late. Justina.
So
Nadine.
Justina, you're from where?
Nadine.
Justina, you're from Jamaica?
Nadine.
Yes, Miss Justina.
No, this is not Miss Justin. This is Miss Coley.
Miss Coley, first name.
Yes, Paulette.
Oh, Paulette. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I had internet issues the first 2 sessions, but I went online and listen to the presentation. So make sure so you have me on the register.
I have you on the register, Miss Paulette.
Because oh my God, I was so disappointed, but I'm so happy I was able to join tonight.
Beautiful. All right.
Yes.
You know Mr. Norris. Mr. Norris is from Dominica. We have Charlene, Miss Sylvia. Good night, Miss Sylvia, Mr. Peter. But I was asking Winsberg just to close us out because we need to end. All of this was being recorded. Let me end the recording.
Okay, then let me say give thanks as the viceroy of the Cnfo. Let me give thanks to Suzanne for her wonderful presentation, and also for members from different parts of the Caribbean region to take a special time to join us tonight as the Cnfo continue to strengthen Fisher folks leaders around. And as we do modules, our next one is next week, next month. I would like you guys to encourage other members of your organization, share the link, that we could have a good group of persons to have great understanding about how Fisher Folks organization functioning. And I think with this, I may say good night and let you all have a blessed weekend. Continue to follow us on our Facebook link, our news by WhatsApp. Our office is all time open. Nadine, she's all time friendly to answer any situation and to share your information. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.